Hi, Julie here with Just Plain Fun, and today we're going to do a free pattern that is available on the site. It is for another quilt block in the Quilt As You Go, Quilt As You Piece series. This is block number, oh boy, don't remember which block number it is. But anyway, after this one, there's only 5 more to go in this series, so I think it might be block number 26 or 25 or something like that. But anyway, here's what it looks like, all finished, and this is the back side. It's pretty cool. But anyway, let's get started. So in order to get going, you're going to need the instructions, of course, and you can get that at my website at jpfun.com. And just look for the cornered kite pattern. This one's free, no points needed. Just go ahead and download this pattern. You can print it off. The templates are included in the PDF file, so you need to download the PDF file to get the templates. They're not on the website. Well, they're not on the page. Okay, and I've already taken the liberty of actually getting the pieces all cut and ready to go, and I'm going to start with this one. Basically, if you've been watching along, I layer it. And go ahead and watch the previous videos if you want to learn how to do this. I do use washable school glue in liquid and in stick form. The stick form is for gluing the pieces to the batting, and the liquid is for gluing the seams. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just get this one done, and I'll be right back. All right, so the kite part is done, and I've quilted it. And I went in 3/4 of an inch from from the edge in order to have this line be about 1/2 inch away from the seam line. So, and I did that, putting 3 quilting lines down. So the next step is to go ahead and add these side pieces to this. And what I do for that part is I actually glue the seam first with this liquid school glue. This is Elmer's liquid school glue. And then this is the glue stick that I use. It says it's all-purpose glue stick and it's washable, and it comes right out when you wash it the first time. So that's basically the glues I use to get the seams, so that I don't need to use a walking foot. That's the point. I don't have to use a walking foot, and it's accurate. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add one side and make sure I have both fabrics. Yep, okay, and I will be right back. One thing I wanted to show you before I continue is I wanted to show you how perfect these line up. I use the Accuquilt cutting system to cut all these pieces. Even this, I use the strip dies for this. And I use the 10-inch cube block to get this particular section here. And I believe this is die number 15 and 14. I could be wrong on the numbers. I'll have to double check. It's actually in the instructions. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and do my 1/4 inch seam, and these are actual 1/4 inch seams. They're not scant 1/4 inch seams with regards to this method or this system. And then because this batting piece is made exactly the same size and with the same die, I actually use the die to cut these, I'm going to line this up just like this, and I'm going to be adding some of this tape to the top. I'll probably flip it over. And I will use like 1.5 inches or so, 1.25 inches, and iron this on here on the seam. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to iron this onto the seam, as you can see right here. And then I'll do my zigzag stitch the whole way. Basically what this does is it prevents this from being pulled up. Actually, sorry, I did this with the last video. It keeps it from being pushed down so that it's out of alignment. And then this will flop over perfectly and land, like within here. And there'll be excess that you can trim off. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Cut my piece here, iron it on, and then go and do the zigzag stitching. But first I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam, and then I'll make sure that this seam tape lands within the seam allowance. So if you have any of this, I explain it more on the website and in the pattern and in the last video that I did. So I will be right back. Let me zoom back out. There we go. All right, and I'll be right back. Before I continue, I wanted to show you what it looked like. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I've done the seam. Whoa. Back that up a little bit. I really want you to see this. That was a little bit crazy. Okay, so if you can see the stitches. Oh, come on, focus. Maybe you can see it better if I do back it off a little bit. There we go. All right, so it is zigzagged, and if you can see that, I put this little tape directly on my seam, and it is a good 1/4 inch seam allowance. I used a 2.4 stitch length, but you can go 3, that's okay. The zigzag stitch is what I've been repeating throughout this whole series of blocks. It is 4.0 stitch length and 7.0 stitch width in zigzag. All right, and I have a machine, a sewing machine, that I can program different stitch patterns that I use. I'm using a Zuki HZL something 300. I can't remember exactly what it is, but that's what it is. It's Juki, and it's got a programmable. You can do programmable patterns that you do over and over and over again. So, all right. So this is what's going to happen next. I'm going to put some of the glue stick here, fold this over, and press it down. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Put the glue stick here, not on the batting, and flip it over and glue it down and heat set it in place. All right, and then I'll do the other side. So I will go ahead and take this and do the other side, and then after this I'm just going to do each step and not say a word, and you're going to just kind of see it grow. And let me back out here. All right, so I'm going to do this section next. All right, so this part is done. It goes down here, and at this point all I need to do is trim here and trim the batting off here, because this looks pretty good. Using the Accuquilt system really makes it easy to be accurate with the actual piecing. It really is amazing. So the next one that I'll be doing is I'll be trimming that up, and then I'll be adding this strip. And if you notice, this strip is longer than it needs to be. I did that on purpose, so that way all I have to do is zigzag the pieces to it. Okay, and from here on out you're just going to be seeing each piece added, and it'll be all layered and quilted, and I'll just you'll see it happen. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, one thing I wanted to point out, not exactly perfect here, but that's okay. I trimmed it to 6. This block is trimmed to 6.5, and then we're going to add this piece to this, and you're not even going to see this little bit of batting. Okay, keep on going. All right, we're at a point where you're going to want to trim this square down to 8.5. Just let there be batting exposed if it needs to be that way. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it. Getting there, almost done. And I wanted you to take notice that I actually put one of those tape strip thingies here, the sticky tape thing here, and the basting thingy over here, just to make it a little bit more stable and so that this wouldn't get stretched out. That's the only reason why I did that, is because these were getting stretched out a little bit. And I didn't put any here, but it does have the zigzag stitch. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. All the stitching is done, and now I just need to trim it up to 10.5, and I'm going to let batting show if it needs to. Hopefully it will be within the seam allowance, and so it won't show when we put it together with the other blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it up, and I'll be right back. All done. Look at that. All done. And there's hardly any of the batting showing through on the edges. So I just have to remember that even though there's batting showing, line the fabric up to the batting, not the fabric. Okay, and if you notice, I've got my 1/4 inch here. And so everything is lined up. It looks good. Let's take a look and see what the back side looks like. Wow, it's bright. Love it. So I think this one was a win. And this one uses the Accuquilt Cube. I believe it's 14. Well, it's in the instructions. And these I used the Accuquilt strip dies. This one was the 2.5 inch finished, and these were the 1 inch finished. So you can use those too. And when the templates will be included for this part. This is all strip cutting. It's relatively easy to do, but I've provided the templates for this piece and these pieces. And this piece is actually one. Just remember to mirror your fabric because there's a right and a left. All right. And also do the same thing for the back, basically double everything up. And this time with this particular pattern, I've offered, or I've given you a photo on the website that shows you a sample quilt that you can make out of just this block, a whole bunch of these blocks. And I think you might like the idea of making a whole bunch of these blocks, putting them together for a quilt. All right, and I want to thank you for watching. And I don't know if you caught that secret code earlier in this video. Even though this video is, this pattern is free, you can still earn 20,000 points for watching this video. And just write it down, go to the website, sign up, register. Membership is free. It wasn't at the beginning of this series, but it is now. Membership is free. You earn points to get to different levels, up to gold level. And with each level, you get a limited number of downloads that you can do per day. The higher the level, once you reach gold, there's no limit to how many you can download, but it's still 20,000 points. So you can lose that gold status if you get below 1 million points. And people have gotten over 1 million points and they've become gold members. So that is possible. And like I said, membership is free, and points are used to redeem for patterns, crochet patterns, bead sheets, quilt blocks, and in the future quilts. And the price of it won't be 20,000 points no matter what for everything. The quilt itself may be, I don't know how many points, but it will be, for the download. The book, it will be available for sale hopefully in July. I just have to work on it. There's going to be more information about the Quilt as You Piece method in it. and I will include things that are not in the patterns, more details, perhaps even sample quilt layouts of each block that you can do if you want to. I probably won't make the quilts, but you could. And perhaps maybe I might provide yardage. I haven't decided yet on those quilt layouts. All right, until next time, I want to thank you for watching and have a great day. Goodbye.